back to my channel. I am back with another Baddies Gone Wild DR review. This review is for episode 3, so let's just get right into it. So Leandra, Baby G, Becky, and Lauren are all having a conversation at the beginning of this episode, and Baby G and Becky are trying to work out their issues because they got into a couple of fights in last week's episode during the house meeting because Becky felt some type of way about Baby G referring to her and Marie Minksss as bullies for moving Mimi's name off the door in the room. And look, I do not feel like this was a reason for the two of them to fight in last week's episode. I think Becky literally just wanted to fight because she shouldn't be fighting people because they said that she was a bully for that situation. I mean, if she knows she's not a bully, why is she so mad? But Lauren ends up telling them that she feels like Maloni is the one who instigated the fight between the two of them. And I completely agree because Maloni was being a big instigator at the house meeting and she was stirring up fights between everybody. And that's the reason why Lauren had to check her real quick and fight her because she was trying to instigate another fight between her and Leandra. And I'll say this, I'm not a fan of Becky, but I do like that her and Baby G were able to put their differences aside and drop the beef because they really didn't have a real reason to be beefing in the first place. But during this conversation, Leandra ends up apologizing to Lauren for spreading the rumor that she has a smelly cat, and although Lauren did accept Leandra's apology and said that she was not going to fight Leandra again because Leandra didn't even fight her back, Lauren did say that she does not want to be cool with Leandra because Leandra gave other girls ammunition to use against her. And I understand where Lauren's coming from because I kind of like Leandra now. She seems like a sweet girl, but she was wrong for what she said about Lauren, especially if she didn't know if it was true or not, because she did give the other girls ammunition to use against Lauren. I mean, as soon as Marie Minksss got into it with Lauren, that was the first thing that she brought up, so I can understand Lauren saying, I'm not going to fight you anymore, but I don't want to be friends. Now, Mimi ends up having a conversation with Kutta and Dava, and she says that she might end up going home because her boyfriend's grandmother is in the hospital, and that's the reason why she didn't go out to the club with the other girls, is because she doesn't know if her boyfriend's grandmother is going to actually make it. And look, I understand why Mimi would want to go home because she said that she wanted to be there for her boyfriend, but I do feel like this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and so it's something that she would definitely have to think about. And like, how long before she got to the Dominican Republic was his grandmother in the hospital? Because if she knew that his grandmother was in the hospital before she came on the show, because they had only been in the house for 2 days at this point, I'm wondering why she decided to come and not just give the opportunity to somebody else. So Maloni, Naz, Baby Tyson, and Maria are having a conversation, and Maloni was saying that she didn't understand why Lauren wanted to fight her because she wasn't trying to instigate a fight between her and Leandra. She was just pointing out that she felt like Leandra was wrong. But no, it definitely looked like Maloni was trying to get Lauren to fight Leandra again. That's exactly what it sounded like, and if you watch the episode back, you'll see that that's exactly what she was trying to do. So I don't understand why she was minimizing her being an instigator. But then Marie starts asking who took her picture off the wall, and Maloni said that it was Dava that did it, and I don't understand why Marie feels some type of way about her picture being taken off the wall when she said that it wasn't a big deal and it wasn't bullying when her and Becky took Mimi's name off the door and put it to the living room. So why do you care about a picture being moved if you didn't think it was a big deal when you moved somebody's name out of the room they were supposed to sleep in? So I didn't really understand that. But then Baby Tyson starts asking Marie why she was laughing on the bus when her and Elena were going back and forth with each other because she just felt like they were trying to all gang up on her and she just felt some type of way. And I understand why Baby Tyson felt some type of way about them sitting on the bus laughing while her and Alana were going back and forth because she's going at somebody and then she feels like everybody's against her. I just think that Marie is messy and she thought that the beef between the two of them was funny. I don't think that she meant any harm towards Baby Tyson, but she was laughing at a bad time. But during this conversation, Elena ends up coming outside in her bonnet, ready to fight Baby Tyson, and Baby Tyson was already ready to fight because, I mean, she had Vaseline all over her face like she was ready. So the two of them start fighting with each other, and I honestly think that Alana thought that Baby Tyson was going to be an easy win for her, and this first round showed that Baby Tyson can get in there because the first few seconds of the fight, Baby Tyson was getting Alana, and I think she was gagged a little bit, but then Alana was able to get a hold of Tyson, and she started uppercutting her, so I feel like this first round was a good fight, and I feel like it was a tie. If you choose one or the other, I wouldn't argue with it, but I just feel like because Baby Tyson was getting Alana at the beginning and then at the end Alana was able to get Baby Tyson, I feel like it was a tie. But then they fight a second round, and this round Alana definitely got Baby Tyson. I give it to Baby Tyson that she'll still get in there and she'll fight, but Alana was definitely getting her. They end up fighting another round, a third round, and Baby Tyson was getting in there with Alana at first, but then again Alana was able to get Baby Tyson's head down and she started uppercutting her again, and I was like, damn, she's getting her. And they just won't stop fighting. They fight another round, and this time when Baby Tyson hits Alana in the face, her bonnet slips over her eyes, and Baby Tyson was able to get in there with her. I don't really feel like nobody really won this round, but I definitely feel like Baby Tyson was able to get the better of Alana because Alana had the bonnet over her eyes. I don't understand why she was fighting with the bonnet on. She should have took that shit off. I mean, didn't they learn from Baddies Africa when Lex had the bonnet on and it slipped over her eyes when she was getting ready to fight Fauna? They fight one final round, and this time Baby Tyson was getting in there with Alana, but then Alana was once again able to get a hold of Baby Tyson and she started uppercutting her again. And so Baby Tyson did admit that she did not win these fights with Alana, but she still got in there, and I still respect the fact that she's small like that and she'll still get in there and fight. And I think Alana thought that she was going to be an easy win, and she saw that she wasn't. But when the fight was broken up, Maloni once again was trying to stick her nose in other people's business and instigate some drama because she started saying that she has a problem with Dava because while Baby Tyson and Alana were fighting, she was throwing water from the balcony and yelling, telling Baby Tyson to keep her head up. And I don't understand why she cared about that. Like, why does she care if Dava was on the balcony saying that Baby Tyson needed to keep her head up? I mean, what does that matter? But Baby Tyson and Leandra in the confessional was funny to me. I got a little key off of watching them together because Leandra wanted to know how Baby Tyson makes her butt clap, so Baby Tyson was in there giving her a lesson, and I thought it was cute and funny. But Lulu, Becky, and Marie were all outside having a conversation, and Marie and Becky are still feeling some type of way because Dava ended up taking Marie's picture off the wall, and then Becky said that Kutta was the one who took Naz's picture off the wall, so they're really upset about this. Don't understand why, because they didn't think it was a big deal when they took Mimi's name off the door, so why do they care about a picture on the wall? But then Lulu starts going on and on about the girls in the house being dirty, and look, I completely understand where Lulu's coming from because I cannot stand a mess. I cannot stand dirty filthiness, so I do feel like the girls need to clean up after themselves. But while they're having this conversation, Sam, Dava, and Kutta were eavesdropping on their conversation because they heard their names mentioned, and so they end up walking up on Marie, Lulu, and Becky, confronting them about the things that they were saying, and so they get to arguing and a bunch of fights break out. I mean, there was a lot going on in this scene. Dava and Marie were arguing with each other and squaring up with each other. They didn't actually swing yet, but they were trying to. And then you have Sam and Lulu going back and forth with each other because Sam felt some type of way about Lulu talking about them being dirty after she was just in their room hanging out with them. And then you have Kutta and Becky arguing because Becky feels some type of way about Kutta taking Naz's picture off the wall. And then you have Kutta confused as to why Becky wants to fight her for it because it wasn't her picture that got taken down. So why does she care? So they're going back and forth with each other. And all of a sudden, Marie and Dava start fighting with each other, and I'll say this, I do feel like Marie won this round, but Dava was definitely getting in there and fighting too. Becky and Kutta start fighting with each other, and Becky won that pretty quickly. I mean, Kay was getting in there fighting, and I didn't really feel like they needed to be fighting, but I will say Becky won. And Sam and Lulu start fighting with each other, and Lulu was not swinging. For some reason, it was only Sam that was swinging, so I'll give the win to her. Lulu was just trying to pull Sam's hair, but Sam was the one that was swinging, so I'll say she won. Kutta and Becky start arguing again, and Kay doesn't really want to fight because she feels like there's no reason for them to be fighting, but Becky is still pressing the issue, and the two of them start fighting again. And again, in my opinion, Becky won that round too, and you know, Kutta mouth was bleeding this time, and I just felt like it was never that serious for them to start fighting like that. Sam and Lulu, I kind of wanted them to stop fighting each other because Sam was the only one that was throwing punches, and Lulu was just trying to grab onto Sam's hair, but she was not swinging, so I just really didn't see the point in them fighting. But they ended up having to do a split screen because Sam and Lulu started fighting at the same time that Marie and Dava started fighting, and in my opinion, Marie definitely won that, and I'll give Lulu this round because this round she was actually swinging on Sam, and she was able to catch her a couple of times. Dava ends up falling to the ground saying that she hurt her knee. This is the second time she got hurt. In the last episode, it was her shoulder. Now it's her knee. It's like, this girl needs to probably take a couple of days off from fighting. And then Kay and Becky start fighting again, and I'm so confused as to why Becky keeps wanting to fight Kay. Nothing that happened between the two of them is that serious for them to keep fighting. It's giving that Becky knows she can fight, so she just wants to keep fighting just to keep doing it. And this time, Kay's face was messed up, and I felt bad because she was getting beat up for absolutely no reason at all. Like, this beef had nothing to do with Becky. It had everything to do with Kutta and Naz, and if Naz didn't care about her picture being moved, why does Becky care? And this time, Kay's face was messed up. She had a huge knot above her eye. Her lip was bleeding. Like, she looked a hot-ass mess, and she didn't even deserve all of that. So then all six of them start going back and forth again. You have Marie and Becky arguing with Dava and Kutta K over the picture situation. And then Sam and Lulu are going back and forth with each other. And this time, them trying to fight was hilarious to me. Even the music that the editors put in the background was funny because these girls were not fighting. The way that they were swinging on each other and swinging at the air, it looked like they were swatting mosquitoes. Dava and Marie end up fighting another round that I didn't think was necessary because this round, neither one of them did anything. I think that Marie was tired. She said that she needed to catch her breath, and Dava had issues because obviously she hurt her shoulder in last week's episode and now her knee in this episode. So I think this last round that they had was completely unnecessary. Kay sees her face in the mirror and she's pissed off, and rightfully so. So she storms up the stairs and she busts into Naz's room, and she tells Naz that Becky is downstairs fighting her continuously because she moved Naz's picture off the wall. And Kay told Naz that if she's not going to fight her own battles, she should have to go home. And I do agree that if Naz is not going to fight for herself, she should have to go home. But we did see her fight Kutta K in the first episode a couple of times, and then in last week's episode she did fight Mimi at the house meeting. So you can't say that she doesn't defend herself. And if she didn't ask Becky to fight Kutta K for her, then I don't really think that you can be mad at Naz for that, because if she didn't ask them to do that, then they're doing it on their own. But I do feel like because of this fight being because her picture was moved, I do think that she should have been downstairs with her girls trying to figure out the situation instead of sitting in her bed with her feet kicked up while everybody was downstairs fighting about her. At one point, Becky was in the pool and Dava jumped in and she's swinging her arms around and Becky starts splashing the water. And I'm like, what is this, a repeat of Lex and Scotty? And then Becky starts arguing with Dava again because at this point they got out of the pool, and Becky starts arguing with Dava because Dava said that if her picture was on the wall along with Marie and Naz's, that they would have taken her picture down too. So when Kutta K comes back over there, Becky runs at her and starts fighting her again because of that. And it's like, girl, you're fighting people over a picture on the wall when your picture was not even moved. Like, you look like an idiot. All the times that she was complaining and whining about being called the bully, but she's acting like one right now. Forget the name situation being moved off the door. The way that she's fighting Kutta K continuously for no reason at all, even though she already beat the girl up and messed up her face, gives bully to me. It's like, if you know you're not a bully, why are you so upset that they were calling you one? It's like, that's weird to me. And I get it, she doesn't want the reputation of being a bully, because we see that when you get a reputation of being a bully on a TV show, fans do not let that shit go and they'll continuously attack you over it. And maybe she doesn't want that kind of smoke, but she shouldn't have been doing the messy shit she was doing and people wouldn't be calling her one. And Becky was in the phone room with her hand in a bag of ice and she's upset. I think she was talking to her boyfriend or something about how mad she was that her hand was messed up. And it's like, girl, you messed your hand up on your own because you kept fighting a girl for no reason. But then Dava and Lulu start arguing with each other, and this was just miscommunication because Dava felt some type of way that she saw Lulu sitting outside with Marie and Becky while her name was being mentioned in a negative way, and she thought that her and Lulu were friends. But Lulu was trying to explain to Dava that she wasn't talking about them, and she was trying to change the subject when Marie and, Becky were talking about her. She was trying to change the subject to the house being dirty and some of the girls not being clean. And so they start going back and forth, and Lauren definitely did a good job at mediating this situation because she did get them to understand each other a little bit. And I mean, Lauren was right. In this type of environment, you don't know who to trust. So once you see one little thing that makes you feel like you can't trust somebody, you start going off about it. And so Dava felt some type of way seeing Lulu sitting with girls that she doesn't like. But the two of them did end up making up. I don't think that it was necessary for the two of them to start fighting with each other. So I'm glad that they did. So Maloni sees that all this drama is going around, so she decides to put together a house meeting, and Lauren is not feeling Maloni trying to be the house leader, so she kind of starts pressing Maloni a little bit, asking her who made her house manager, and Maloni said that she just wanted everybody to play a game, and the game is who should go home. And I don't understand why they're so desperate to get somebody to go home already. Like, it's only been 3 episodes. This is the 3rd episode. I don't think somebody should go home the first week. They start calling out the people that they think are boring, and a lot of people said that Leandra and Mimi were the ones that should go home. And like I said, I don't agree because I don't feel like anybody should go home before the first week is over. I understand why they were saying Leandra because she doesn't fight and she hasn't really done anything. She just seems like a sweet girl and that's about it. But I don't feel like everybody on the show has to be able to fight. But I do think that Leandra should show a little bit more personality. Mimi, I can understand people wanting her to go home because a lot of the girls are fighting over her situation. And then when you look around, she's nowhere to be found. And then she was just saying that she might go home home because of her boyfriend's grandmother being in the hospital. So if anybody should go home that they listed, I would say probably Mimi. And it's only because she's already been contemplating going home anyway. Naz chimes in, even though we haven't seen her the whole episode, and she said that she doesn't feel like she should have to go home because she does fight for herself, and she has fought the past 2 episodes, so I do agree with that. But in this episode, she was nowhere to be found while her friends were downstairs fighting, and even if she didn't tell them to fight for her, I feel like she should have been over there telling them that it wasn't that big of a deal if she didn't care about the picture being moved. Which is pretty much what Baby Tyson said to her. She said that when her friends are downstairs fighting for her, she's hiding behind them like they're her security guards, and I feel like that makes Marie and Becky look bad. That doesn't really have anything to do with Naz. If Marie and Becky are stupid enough to fight for her, then that's their problem. But once again, Maloni was being messy, trying to instigate fights with people, and Lauren peeps it once again, and she starts saying that Maloni doesn't want to get beat up again, so Maloni hears her and she confronts her about it. They start going back and forth and they start fighting with each other, and to me, neither one of them were able to do anything in this fight because it was really quick and security broke it up pretty fast. But I do understand why Lauren keeps fighting Maloni, because Maloni keeps being messy. But those are my thoughts on this week's episode of Baddies Gone Wild DR. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comment section, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video.